Hi! Welcome to this part of my review featuring the Neon Lords of the Toxic Wasteland Core Rulez. If you haven't seen the other parts of this review, please check out the playlist in the description below. This is a science fantasy post-apocalypse role-playing game, and this time we are going to take a look at gear and hirelings. Let's talk about gear first. This stuff will make you a goddamn sexual Tyrannosaurus. The raddest of weapons and the coolest of armor is what every dude and dudette of Neoterrax has on this holiday's wishlist. From flamethrowers to the most high-tech mecha armor, this is your one-stop shop for everything that eviscerates or protects your family jewels. Weapons and armor are listed in three categories: mundane, elaborate, and fantastical. Mundane is your average Joe bitstick or average Jane leather armor. It ain't the flashiest thing on the block, but it gets the job done. Elaborate weapons and armor pack a bit more pizzazz. It consists of xenotech, artifacts of the Forgotten World, and maliceware. These are demon-forged weapons and armor. Any piece of elaborate tech will make all the kids on the block jealous. Fantastical weapons and armor are the stuff of legend. So much, in fact, that they are not listed here in Fresh to Death, the section featuring gear and weapons. Fantastical weapons and armor are found in another section of the book. There are two important rules of the Wasteland. Anyone not wearing armor has an armor class of 9, and player characters punching with just their meaty hands do 1 point of damage. Let's talk about some of the weapons you can find here. You have two-handed weapons, flails, chain whips, and nunchucks. They all have specific qualities to them. For example, two-handed weapons deal a lot of damage, but they go dead last in the combat order. When it comes to flails, they have roll-over damage. If an enemy dies and there is damage left over, it goes to the next enemy within a certain distance. When it comes to chain whips, they are long-ranged weapons. And nunchucks, well, if you ever see someone use this in a fight, they are lightning fast. They attack in the missile fire phase of combat, just like Bruce Lee. So within these categories you're going to find battle axes, brass knuckles, daggers, hand axes, katana, nunchucks of course, pole arms, spiked gauntlets, and many other things. You also have missile weapons, the non-firearm weapons that hurl projectiles at baddies, such as crossbows, daggers, hand axes, longbows, and of course ninja throwing stars or shuriken. You also have mundane armor. Some of it is padded. There's also leather armor, studded leather, carbon vest, which is constructed out of carbon fibers. This plastic-looking light armor is perfect for sneaking, not to mention it has a new car smell. There's also mesh armor, made of some sort of xeno metal. It's chainmail, but the links are super tiny, making it feel like a mesh of metal. Lightweight, and it makes no clanking noises, so it's perfect for the Night Stalkers. And these are just some of the armor suits that you can find. Then we have a section detailing guns a go-go. There is only one rule in the Wastelands: don't be the one that ends up dead by any means. That means be the baddest mofo and pack the coldest hardware. This is your one-stop shop for everything that goes bang and blows out them pesky muty brains. Here you'll find all the info you'll need to get into a firefight as fast as possible. You have details covering critical hits and firearms. Due to the lethality of guns and other firearms, they do not have a corresponding to the max chart for critical hits. Instead, a 20 is always a headshot that deals double damage. A roll of 1 is still a fumble and requires a roll on the firearms total bomber table. Maybe you drop your weapon. Or perhaps it's a near miss, you roll to hit a random target. Or maybe you end up shooting yourself for normal damage. You have all sorts of weapons such as blaster rifles, filthy heralds, heavy flamers, magdaddies, mega blasters, plasma pistols. Let's talk about some of these things. When it comes to the magdaddy, this is the preferred weapon of drug lords and third-rate hitmen. It spits out 3 rounds per attack. When it comes to recoil, if you roll to hit, the first round has 0 penalties, The second round gets a -2 penalty, and the third round gets a -3. You also have the Sleazy-Blaster, brought to Neoterrax from unknown parts of the galaxy for unknown reasons. When fired, the rounds deal vile damage and also add to the target's Sleaze score. You also have the Plasma Flintlock Pistol, a relic from the Dwarfling's destroyed home planet. These antiques still shoot pretty well. The problem is, no one living has ever made one before, so it's anyone's guess about how they actually work. Then we have details on the Hollywood ammo rule. The rule of cool is in full effect. Guns in Hollywood never run out of bullets, so why should they in Neoterrax? Every gun is assumed to have ample ammo. The round capacity is used to track when an action to reload is necessary. Then we have grenades, or nades, the greatest gift from the flesh gods. Why try to attack one rabid mutie when you can blow him up by the bushel? A character who chooses to throw a nade must roll a d20 and the result must be under their burliness ability score. If they fail this roll, the nade suffers from the scatter keyword. A nade being thrown and the delay that follows all happen within the turn, so the nade will explode in the missile attack phase. So you have frag grenades, flash grenades, and smoke grenades, and you have a chart to determine where they end up if you miss. Then we have details on Bixby's one-stop death shop. Bixby's one-stop shops are everywhere in the humanoid sectors. Every settlement has one. They are filled to the brim with all the accoutrements every red-blooded adventurer wants, from every glug-chug weapon to the weapons of carnage needed to survive 5 minutes in the wastelands and the ruins of the Forgotten Age. Bixby is even known to carry a fantastical item or two behind the counter. All you gotta do is ask. And there are all sorts of things that you can purchase besides weapons and armor. Maybe you want to purchase Blastoid candy chunks. Maybe some candles? Chisel, cord, death sticks. These death sticks, also known as cigars, they deal damage when used, and you can get addicted to them, but they give you a bonus to attitude. You can also purchase hammers, high-octane freedom potions which grant advantage on the next roll made. There are many things: mirrors, mutant energy, torches, sprayed stiff, the unisex hairspray. You can change one hairstyle until a long rest. There are many things to purchase, and very weird things as well. For example, the extreme nacho flavored Mega Fizz 2-liter, or perhaps the Slogo brand Neon Apple Snack Fruit Pie. Maybe you want to purchase the Meat Scanner, or the Mega Pump Kicks. And there is also a nice selection of shades to purchase, such as the Sick Shades. In the style of Lord Randy, these rainbow-tinted bad boys will make you the envy of everyone and grant you a bonus to attitude for sheer macho-ness. You also have the Hasta la Vista's shades, sleek, all black wraparounds. Anyone who sees you in this will be back. Grants the ability to ignore 1d4 points of damage per encounter. You also have the Bio Shades, bio-enhanced targeting shades that grant an additional bonus to hit when shooting at long range. And there are many more, such as 3D glasses, mirrored shades, hypno shades, etc. Then we have a section detailing bros for hire when the help fires back. These are the would-be adventurers or poor bastards down on their luck, offering up services in hopes to get some experience vanquishing monsters and amassing hordes of treasure and tech. There are 3 types of hirelings: basic, skilled, and mercenary. It's best not to remember their names, cause they won't be around for very long. You have basic bros. The down on their luck will do anything for some cash type. Life is cheap on the mean streets of Detroit Prime, so maybe you want to hire a mid-shield, a lackey, a goon, or a scroll jockey. You also have skilled bros, the all-or-nothing hard road type, professionals in their respected fields of mayhem. Maybe you want to hire a glam lord, a mage, a pickpocket, or a spaz with a shotgun. There is even a table of NPC/bros for hire reactions. Even if they are getting paid for their services, that doesn't mean a meatbag or lackey will haphazardly attempt to open a known trapdoor. They have minds of their own. That doesn't mean the player character can't try to use their influence on the hired help to convince them otherwise. There is basically a reaction chart that the Neon Lord can roll on to determine if the hireling is willing to do whatever horrid act the sadistic player character wants them to do. When a roll is needed, you add the player character's attitude modifier to it in addition to any other mods that may reasonably affect the roll, perhaps Sleaze mod, if necessary. Maybe there is a mutiny and all bros for hire attack the party. Maybe you get the result of hell no, the player character adds to his or her sleaze. Maybe you get a result of undecided, you roll again with a negative penalty to the second roll. Maybe the bro will do it for more money. Or maybe you obtain the result of all in, suicidal even. You could even push drugs onto your hirelings because some of those substances give you some bonuses in particular tasks, but they could end up quite addicted, and this will add to your sleaze score right away. You have to be careful with your party's reputation. Every time a bro dies on an adventure, the party rep gets a -1. And every time a bro comes back alive, even with a missing arm or leg, the party gains a bonus to reputation. So for example, if your reputation is quite low, they could look at you as if you are some sort of serial killer. Be careful who you hire. They might straight up backstab you. Maybe you are sus. Yeah, right, and get myself killed, you better be paying double. Maybe you have the reputation of thoughtful boss. Folk are willing to take one for the team every now and then, due to the good benefits. Or maybe they see you as quite generous. You get to pick and choose what kind of folk join your party, as you are in high demand. Besides all of those, you also have mercenaries, scum for hire. These unsavory types will do pretty much anything for the right amount of money. From ex-adventurers to bounty hunters, there are all types of specialties to be found within the mercenary guilds. Each sector has a plethora of scum, human and xeno alike, willing to take your hard-earned gold. Now you have charts to generate these mercenaries. For example, if you want to determine the appearance, maybe the mercenary sports a green mohawk. Maybe the mercenary is horribly disfigured, perhaps he has a missing jaw or nose. Maybe the mercenary is a mutant. Perhaps the mercenary has a mechanical arm that's not quite under control. Maybe the mercenary has a snot bubble that gets bigger and smaller as they breathe. You can also determine demeanor. Maybe the mercenary is drunk or has no emotion at all. Maybe it's a merc with a mouth. Or perhaps the mercenary is a pathological liar. You can also determine their abilities and what they are packing. Maybe one is equipped with a laser rifle. Maybe another one is immune to being frightened. Maybe the mercenary is equipped with a Death Viper machine gun. Perhaps the mercenary is a keen tracker equipped with a slasher. Or maybe the mercenary is dual wielding nunchucks. You also have a quick method to generate stats for the mercenary. Now concerning experience points, mercenaries don't gain levels, but they do take their share of the party's XP. At the end of the gig, make sure you give the mercenary their fair share of experience points. And this concludes this part of the review for today. In the next part we are going to talk about spell casting. When it comes to this section, it is truly amazing the level of detail and flavor for each of these pieces of gear and the mercenaries, the hirelings. Many things are explained, especially the weirder ones and setting specific ones. Some basic things are pretty self-explanatory, but the amount of detail, the abilities, the properties is quite staggering. It is very enjoyable and fun to read these lists. And it's going to be very fun for the game master to equip different enemies with armor and weapons and gear, and to place those same objects in specific places, stashes, caches, for the player characters to find them. Perhaps after disarming a booby trap or surviving it. And when it comes to the player characters, they are going to find it very enjoyable to select their weapons, their armor, their gear from all of these lists. They can customize their characters further, not only because of the character class they have chosen, but because of the weapons, the tools of destruction that they will be wielding. And the hirelings and mercenaries, because of the different tables, they have a very strong personality to them, even though they may end up dying in the first scenario or adventure. Thank you for watching this part of the review. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that have been supporting the channel by sending drive-thru RPG gift certificates. If anyone else wants to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. Once again, thank you and see you later.